Talk about a flying start. I'm mucking around doing a video intro for you guys. I've just looked down the slope and there's not a bad looking mountain boar down there. I better get the camera off that tripod and a rifle on it. Have at it. G'day guys, I'm out here to do some feral pig and deer control around the oats. Foxes and feral cats, they're targets of opportunity. As you might be able to hear under my feet, it is very, very wet. 60 mil of rain fell last night, so far from ideal, but I've got the quad bike, 2 308s because 1, that's just not enough. I've got my 6.5 PRC Smurf gun, a whole heap of country to cover here. Let's see how we go. I've just glassed up a few deer on this slope up behind me, 540 metres. Time to get the Smurf gun out in 6.5 PRC. Sand around over there. I'm not sure what these guys had on the agenda, but it certainly wasn't this. 2 pigs came out to start with, then that turned into the 3 little pigs, then a 4th, and I was up there on the track. Excellent. There's a first for everything. I've been asked by the property owner if I see these 5 basically feral sheep, can I shoot them? As you can see in their coat there, completely full of burrs. These things have been up here for a number of years. Unable to be mustered. There's no sheep left on the property. I was planning to drag these pigs together, but on the size 11 boot scale, that's a really big sow. These ones over here aren't bad either. All in a nice little neat pile together. Excellent. It's nearly dark. I've swapped over from glass optics to thermal. On my semi-auto, I'm now running a Thermion 2 LRF XL 60. That's been on there for a while. Absolutely love that scope. On my Bolt Action 308, I'm going to run a little bit of subsonic rounds through that tonight. Very, very handy. I've still got my XG50 Thermion. It's always been a staple. I am really keen tonight to see how this Oryx runs. It's been very promising in the daylight. Once it gets dark though, that'll be the true test. I'm going to put it up on the arm on the quad bike, cast the image through Wi-Fi down onto my Android tablet and use it as my main scanner. Ooh, look what we've got here. You know the best bit? Down in the comments, some muppet will get on there and say, you've shot someone's pet. Guarantee it happens every single time. Oh well, that's their loss, but if you are unsure about these things, go and Google feral cats in Australia. You might learn something. If you are not subscribed to the channel and you're watching this video and enjoying it, please give it a thumbs up and jump on board. I do see the analytics and most people that watch the content are not subscribed. Anyway, I'll see you on the other side. There's lots of solo boars walking around out in these grasslands. I haven't found too many big mobs of pigs, but that might change when I get out on the oats. He's a really tidy boar, this fella. He's probably about 80 kilos. He's really gaunt in the back end. He hasn't got a bad set of hooks on him either. Get an angle on them for the area anyway. He ended up winding me. I wasn't sure what he was, so I moved into position and the wind was swirling. He's not a half tidy buck, this fella. He's got a lot of length, big cleft on that right side, very clean neck shot. I'll get a heap of meat off this guy. I do get asked that. What do I do with the deer when I am culling them? Well, I take as much as I can. No, I'm not a big fan of bucks in the rut, but outside of the rut, they taste unreal. The speed wobbles, you can see the blood pumping out of it. Down. I've just had a flash of very bright eyes up ahead in the red lights. It might be a feral cat. You can probably tell by all the wind noise. Yes, it's a little bit blowy tonight. That would be an understatement. It is bloody freezing, but I am finding a few of these things. Hey, Pete. Hey. Any landowners in New South Wales that are having trouble with feral animals, large or small, that I might be able to assist with for vertebrate pest control, drop me an email. I'm happy to chat about that. I've got capacity at the moment to take on a little bit more work. That was a life-changing event. Let's go and sit down and not give two fucks. 5 metres away from the guy with a rifle. How'd that work out for you, buddy? Wow, this wind out here is absolutely savage. It is physically moving my body when I'm trying to shoot. Talk about severe conditions. Anyway, we shall continue and get the job done. My willpower went out the window today. I know people have been commenting that I haven't been on the twisters. Well, anyway, I've tried to avoid them, but I just can't. Turkish Delight, Mountain Dew, it's bloody cold, it's late, fantastic. Gosh, some of these pigs are noise sensitive to the 4-stroke. I don't have any trouble riding up to about 100 metres from the deer if I do it nice and slowly. But those animals are about 600 metres away out in the middle of the oats and they took off. A bit of a chase insured. Understatement. Anyway, I'm not sure what I actually recorded. That was all a bit fast and furious, but yeah, things got a little bit Texan again. No more pigs though. I'm up and at things today, just cruising around the back of these oats trying to map out a few plans for tonight. The crop looks really good. There is pig and deer sign up in here. I guess that's why I'm on site doing what I do. Heading up into the hills today just to have a bit of a look, a scout around, and then we'll get back down on these oats this afternoon, see what comes out on dark. The joys of spending time up in the mountains on these cut-in tracks. Best be getting the big handsaw out, I think. Much better now. Also helps the property owner as well when he's out doing work. Saves him bringing a chainsaw up. Don't be fooled into thinking that thermal is just for the night time. I'm running the new Oryx XG35 LRF. Over daytime, I've got a lot of country to cover up in here. I'm scanning these valleys. Yes, there's a lot of UV and rocks, but I am also finding animals. It's very, very handy. That all happened in a little bit of a hurry. I've just come round a corner. This fella's jumped up out of a dam. I didn't really have time to record anything. I've just grabbed the 6.5 PRC Smurf gun and capped a round into him. He's not a bad head. He's a 5x6, younger stag. I find that it's the little things on these trips that make life easy. Something that I do want to cover is this jacket that I've been wearing. I wore it all last winter. I'm obviously back in it this year, and I've never even mentioned it. It's a Spiker High Point zip through. So it's a windproof heavy fleece. It's very breathable. It's got waterproof shoulders, and it's quite a long coat. It comes about halfway down my thighs. It's got a waterproof bum, so when I sit on the quad, which does get wet as it is now, I stay nice and dry. It is very, very cold riding around on the quad bike in wintertime, as you could imagine, but it is also a really hard thing to find a balance of clothing that works when I get off and then go and walk in on those pigs. You get hot really quickly if you put on down jackets and things like that. So yeah, big plug here for the Spiker High Point if you are after something that's quite warm. It's good to layer under, and it breathes well from the inside out, but it doesn't let a whole lot of wind in. I'm not quite sure where this fox thought it was going with me sitting on the track coming towards me. Anyway, it pulled up at about 10 metres. I've done a little bit of facial reconstruction there for that video. That's super annoying. First round stoppage, the little spring on that's broken. And I had it shut, so the first round didn't eject properly. Bugger. Red mode on this guy, he's got a hole at the back of the ear, it's a bit of a mess. That's a red stag, it's only a little spiker, but still, they're a big animal.
What's a hit?
Wow, there's a first for everything. I'm riding along the edge of this crop and I've heard a squeal down in the gully. Only sounded like a small pig, couldn't see anything really long grass. I've walked over the rise and there's a fox in there trying to attack the piglet. That little piglet was putting up a pretty good fight, I must say. It went on for about 3 or 4 minutes before I could get a good angle. End result, no more fox and no more piglet. It's that time of night that I'll give a call out to Ben and everyone down at Hunt the Night. If you're in the market for thermal or anything else like I'm using out here tonight, jump on his website and have a look. He's got a fantastic store down in Pakenham, Victoria. Like I said, if you're in the market, check it out. Those guys really know their stuff. I get a lot of questions on what thermal for what application. I generally refer them to those guys. They're completely up to spec on all the latest gear and they give really good advice. Anyway, check it out. There's quite a few deer up on this slope ahead. Let's poke up there, see if I can get a few shots off. That's been another fantastic shoot. The property owner is really happy with the results. I've got a very full fridge with venison. No, I don't eat wild pigs, but I have taken a bunch of backstraps out of those deer. Unfortunately, there's just too many for me to take everything, which is a little bit of a waste, I will admit that, but that is the job. They wanted the deer gone, so that's what I've done. If you did like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Ensure you subscribe to the channel with the bell icon on. I'd really appreciate it if you'd like to have a look at my Patreon, and I'll see everyone next time.